Hey, what's going on guys? Steve Lee from Revolt Studio. And today we're going to take a look on how to turn the transparent glass in the stock footage into translucent glass. Okay, I've got my footage ready in here. I'm just gonna drag and drop into the icon here to create a new comp. And we're going to search for the footage that we wanted to do for this tutorial. Yep, this one right here. Let's cut somewhere here. Press B to bring the work area here and then move forward a little bit and press N and then right click and click trim comp to work area so that we have much better focus on this area. There are two ways of doing rotoscoping inside of After Effects, and one of the way is by using the roto brush tool available on top, and another one is you can go to the effects and presets and search for Mocha AECC. And then you can drag and drop this into your layer and you can start to do rotoscoping. Teaching on technique on how to use Roto Brush and Mocha AE to do rotoscoping is a big subject. So I'm just gonna roughly show you guys on what I did on those rotoscoping and mask. I will do another videos to explain in detail on how to use the Roto Brush and Mocha AE. Since I've done my rotoscoping on my previous project, but I'm gonna roughly show you guys on how I did it in Mocha AECC and by using Roto Brush. Okay, let's take a look on what I have done inside of Mocha AE. We're just gonna drag and drop this effect onto the footage. And we can press this little big button right here. And it will take us into the Mocha AE UI. Now that we're in Mocha AE, and we can see that we don't have any tracks available around the human. It is because I've done my tracking in my previous project, and we're just gonna dive in and take a look on that. Let's close this and let's head back to the footage. And in this track, let me solo this. In this track, I use Mocha AE to quickly rotoscoping the humans out. As you can see, the edge is not perfect. And I use the built-in Roto Brush to rotoscope these people. And so far, I've got a great result from hairlines by using the built-in Roto Brush and Refine Edge tool. I know the rotoscoping is not perfect. I just want to show you the general ideas on how I do the translucent glass effect. Of course, you can spend more time on refining those edges and rotoscope. Let's take a look on what happened inside of Mocha AE that I used to rotoscope this guy. If you do rotoscoping, and here's a tip, you want to separate those body parts into individual layers. I have separated head, the hands, and the body. And let's see, if we scrub through the footage, we can see the mask is traced accordingly to the outline of the subject. Mocha AE has been doing an amazing job in this, but sometimes you just need a little refinement on those minor edges. Like this one, you just have to move a little bit. Or you can just select both and do that. That's gonna take a while, but the result will be amazing. After you're done it, just press this little save icons in here and we can close it. And what I did on the other layer is that I used the Roto Brush to brush through. It's another amazing tool and you can check it out. I'm gonna put up another video on explaining this, and for now we're just gonna skip that. Once we're done with the rotoscope, okay, I'm just gonna copy this layer real quick since I've done it and paste it to the comp that we want to work in. Now we can start to work on turning those transparent glass into translucent glass. I'm just gonna take this middle window as an example on how I did the effects. And you guys can go ahead and use the same technique and apply it on the rest of the glass. Now let's take a look on how the translucent glass really look like. Now as we can see from here, the object behind the translucent glass is very visible and have minimal tone of color. And there's a little grain texture on top of the glass. And just like this one. And this one right here. And from this, we can know that the object behind the glass is very visible and have blur out effect. And this is what we're going to achieve inside of After Effects. Let's go back to After Effects. First thing that we want to do is we're going to duplicate the main footage. Press Ctrl D on Windows or Command C on Mac, and we're going to solo this layer. Now, we're going to take the pen tool and trace around the mirror that we wanted to cover and turn it into the translucent glass. Once we're done, we're going to go to the footage, press M to open up the mask and change it to none. And we're just going to keep on working on the rest of the glass. Well, don't worry if you have something that is covered by the glass and not shown. I'm just gonna estimate on the frame and just make the line aligns with the frame. And change it to none again. And we're gonna do a quick one with this. None. And now, as we can see, if we move through the time frames, the mask is not animating along together with the frame. So we're gonna press MM to open up the mask path and keyframe all of this. Make sure in the beginning of the frames. And let's just say we just want to work on this few frames somewhere around here, and press N so that we can just work in here. And now we are going to move the mask around just like this and just let it cover. Go ahead and do the same for the rest of the glass. And I'm gonna fast forward this part. Now that we have done the masking, we are going to search for the effect called box blur and drag and drop it onto our window. We're gonna type in the value around 8 and turn on repeat edge pixels. Now we're going to take the mask and change it to add. Now that we have a problem. As we can see, when we turn on the fast box blur effect, there are some images and pixels showing outside of the mask. And this is not what we want. We want clean and crisp edge. To fix that, press Ctrl D to duplicate the window. And in the new window, we're just gonna go ahead and delete this. We're gonna shut this layer off. And then press F4, and we're gonna change the matte to alpha matte to window 2. And immediately you can see the edges become much better. Now let's head back. Let me unsolo this layer. And as we can see, we're starting to get the effect that we wanted to create. But we still have a lot to do. Because from the translucent glass, the research that we did, the object behind the glass doesn't have much of contrast and have low vibrance of color. And you can barely see its hand of a bricks behind when it's very far a distance away from the glass. In order to get this realistic effect, we're gonna search for tint effect. Drag and drop it on top of the window. And we're gonna turn down the value to 25. And we wanted to change the black color to something with like dark blue. And we want the white color to have a little bit of oranges. Or maybe blue. Yeah, like that. Okay, now we have a problem. We can see that from the glass there is some edges around here that does not have the full translucent effect. And it looks like the glass manufacturer is not doing a great job in this. So we're going to fix that. To do that, let's go into the window and open up the mask and delete all of this. And done. And of course it's going to leave us some hard edges like this. Let's go to the window 2. Press F to open up the mask feather property. Select all of this and maybe add 1 pixel. Maybe 2. Yeah, 2 works great. Let's go into the effects and preset and type in curves and drag and drop onto the window. Let me tidy up the place a little bit. Boost up the black value. We're gonna lower the red just a touch to give it a bluish feel. Next, we're going to add texture to the glass. Go to the effects and preset and search for turbulence noise. Then drag and drop onto our window layer. And then open up the transform property to scale and reduce it to way low, just 23, yeah. And then we're gonna change the fractal type to dynamic. And lower the opacity to about 20 and change the blending mode to add. Alright, maybe lower the opacity more. We can go ahead and change all the glass in the office into translucent glass. Take the pen tool and simply draw around the mirror. Don't forget to animate the path. As we can see from the original project, we have a set extension of the window frames over here. There's no window frames in there. I guess the company has run out of budget on buying extra window frames and decided to do it in post-production. Go to the main footage, hit Ctrl D to duplicate, and press T to open opacity, lower like 50. And we wanted to drag the frame outside of the footage. Now we're gonna take the pen tool and draw around to create a fake window frame and turn the opacity back to 100. And let's go ahead and press M to animate the mask path and try to match the movement of the footage. Then we want to bring back the glass to the shots. Select the window tool layer and use pen tool to draw around the area that we want to create a glass. Click on the stopwatch to animate the mask path, and you can make some adjustment if necessary, like this one right here. And that's it for this tutorial. Hope you guys learned something. And next video is about using Mocha AE and Ruler Brush to create rotoscoping. Let me know if you learned something, leave a comment down below, hit the like and subscribe button. New video will be posted every Wednesday and Saturday. And let me know if you have any question regarding of this effect. I'm going to try to create more videos every day now because I just started out and I need time to familiar with all this workflow. Stay tuned and keep learning.